Hi everyone, I'm Wonk, and today I will be giving you a plugin tutorial on how to set up and use the plugin ItemSlotMachine. So first of all, go to Bucket and ItemSlotMachine, and you can download the latest version by going to Files, and the latest version is up here, the top one, and you click on that and download. Download this to a location you will remember, like your desktop. After it is downloaded, you want to drag it into your server plugins folder. Once it is in your server plugins folder, you want to restart your server and it will generate the directory folder. Once you have restarted the server, you will have the ItemSlotMachine folder. Once you go into there, you will be left with 2 folders and 2 files. The slot machines folder is where all the information and configuration files for your slot machines are. I already have some, as I have slot machines on my server already. You have the statistics where it keeps the data for the server, you don't need to edit anything in there. And you have the main configuration for the plugin, and you have the lang_en text file is where you can configure your custom messages and stuff. First of all, I will now go to my server and show you how a slot machine works, and then I will show you how to set it up. So here on my server we have the Warp Casino. This is where we have the main slot machines. So we've got the coin shop signs. This is where you can buy your coins. As you can see, we get 1 coin for $10. So if you right click this, it takes $10 out of our account and we get 1 coin. As you can see, these coins are necessary for activating slot machines. And with my mouse, if I scroll on the sign, the amount of coins goes up and down as with the price. So we want to buy 9 more, so we right click and we get 9 more coins for $90, and we now have 10. So as you can see, the money in these machines are different for each machine. That's how much money is in the current machine. So if we win, we will get $70. So to use the machine, you have to right click the jukebox while holding your coin. As you see, it took a coin out of my inventory and now the machine is running. To win, you must get 3 matching items in each item frame. And I didn't win that time, so I got a message saying you didn't win anything, try again. And this time I won, so the fireworks go off and it says congratulations, you've won $80. And to get to play, go to Warp Casino, and that is my configured message there. So now I'm going to show you how to set up your own slot machine. First I will show you how to make a default one and set it up, and then I will show you how to customize your own slot machines. So you type slot build and then the type of machine, so we're just going to be using default design, and then your slot machine name. If you don't do a name, it will just generate the default number. So as this is my 11th slot machine, it will say slot machine created slot 11, and as you can see, it's 3 blocks back and it generates from the block that you are standing on. If you do not have enough room, you will get an error message just saying the slot machine building failed because there is not enough space. Right, as you can see, I've missed it by 2 blocks by the wall. I want this machine up against the wall, so to do this you have to type slot move slot 11, as this is slot machine 11, and then amount, so 2, and it pushes it back 2 blocks. It will move the machine in whatever way you're facing, so if I want it in the corner there, you just have to face this way, and then 2, and it moves that way too. So as you can see, by default it's gone to $1,000 in the pot and 3 items. This means if you win the pot, you'll get the $1,000 and a chance, well, you would get some items. I will now go to the configuration and show you how to set up your slot machine. First we will configure the main config file, so open that. Right, so debug mode, I recommend setting that to false. This is the language file, so don't change to that. Slot machine setting. Here is the default slot name, so I wouldn't recommend changing that. This is if you don't put in your own name, this is what it will change it to. Coin settings, item ID, that's a coin, gold ingot, common item enabled. Keep that on false, otherwise people will be able to use slot machines using normal gold ingots. The price to buy a coin, default 100, but mine I've set to 10, and limited usage set to enabled will mean that players can only use a certain amount of slot machines at one time. So amount 1, this means that players can't use different slot machines at the same time while one machine is still running. Design settings, and then design number. So once you have finished with this configuration, just save that and then close it. And now we're going to look at the slot machines configuration. As we just created slot machine 11, we will be going into the slot11.yml. You want to leave the .instant files, that's kind of the data file, you just want to leave them there, don't edit them, but you want to edit the slot11.yml. So this is the configuration page for the slot machine. So the activation amount is how many coins it will take away from your inventory to use the machine. So as I've got my price for one coin $10, this will cost pretty much $10 to use, and if I set it to 2, it will take 2 coins, costing it $20 to use. Item icons, these are what items are displayed in the item frames on the slot machines. You can add your item IDs in here if you wish to add any more, or remove some that are already there. Creative usage enabled, this will allow players to use the machines in creative mode. While using the machines in creative mode, you'll still need to hold a coin, although it will not take it out of your inventory. Fireworks enabled, as you saw when I won, it shot out some fireworks. If this is on true, it will do the same. If it's on false, it won't shoot any. Individual permission, this means if the players have the permission that you write here, they would have to have that permission to use that machine. So if false, then anyone can use the machine. If true, only players with this permission can use the machine. By default, this means the slot machine name, so you could change this to whatever. So you could change that to donator, and now only people with this permission will be able to use it. Halt settings, this is the tick delay. I recommend just setting this, keeping it how it is. And automatic halt is whether you want the machine to stop on its own or require players to punch the machine to stop it. If true, it will stop on its own, and then ticks is the time that it would take to stop the machine. The predetermined winning chance, if set to true, then the players will win on a chance, and if it's set to false, then it's a random chance. So by default they have 1% out of 100 to win, so you can set this to whatever you want. In my personal opinion, around 20% is good, but you can just experiment and find what you find's good. So we're going to set it to, I don't know, let's say 18, as it's in between 15 and 20. Then you have the sound settings. This is the ticking sound. I will show you the sounds in a minute, but the ticking sound means the slot machine will tick while it's running. If enabled, then it will tick. Broadcast means everyone around the machine will be able to hear it. I recommend having the sounds on, but having broadcast false, so only the player on the machine can hear it. Otherwise, if you've got loads of machines in the one area, then there will just be loads of ticking going on. Win sound, enable true, broadcast true, that means everyone will hear in a certain radius when you win. And lose sound, enable true, and then broadcast will put it to false, so only you hear if you lose. And we'll move down to player lock. This means the slot machine locks to you for a certain amount of time. This is good so other players can't steal your machine, and this by default is, if you put it to true, it's 10 seconds. Command execution, this means if you win, then a command will be shut off. As you saw, it said that I made the server say that a player has won, and to get to the casino, type what casino. So this is where you can edit that. So if you want to enable this, then we will write true and say username, which refers to player, has won the amount of money, currency name, so we will just take out currency name, has won the amount of money, and item amount from slot machine. I'm going to take out the item amount and I'll tell you why in a minute. And then this is the slot machine name. So in our case it would just say slot machine 11, but so I'll just remove that, and from a slot machine, there you go. So now it will say player has won a certain amount of money from a slot machine. This is the money pot settings. This determines whether the money pot is enabled. If this is set to false, players will not win any money out of the slot machines and they will only win items. So I'm going to set that to true. And the default pot size will be 50. And then the pot raise. This is how much money will be added to the slot machine every time that you lose, every time you put a coin in the machine. So on mine I use 5 as basically each coin costs 10. If you lose, the winning money goes up 5, so it's only costing you say $5 each time you lose. House cut, this is the slot machine will take a percentage of the winnings. I'm going to set these to false. Combo settings, once again I like to keep it simple and I don't use the combo settings, so I'm going to set that to false. Item pot settings, this is whether you want for the players to win items. I personally don't want to give out items, just money, so I set this to false. The default items and their amounts are here, so the default, this is the IDs and the amount that they would get. House cut, this is the same with the other one, they take a percentage of the items away, and once again the items have combo settings. That is the configuration file complete, and upload it to the server. Now that we have updated that file, we must now reload the plugin. So to reload the plugin, just type slot reload. As you can see, the items have been removed off this sign as I took items out of the configuration, but the money has stayed the same as that's how much was in there. But I don't want anyone to win $1,000 out of this one machine, as that's not what I set it to. I set it to 50, so they should only be winning 50 or more, but not this much. So to change this, I need to write slot money and then the slot name, which is slot 11, and I'm going to set it to 50, and now it's set up for a new player. So I'm going to go back into survival and then play the machine. As you can see, it is ticking. And I lost, so it did a little sound, and I'll play to our win so you can hear it. Hey, I managed to win the next one. So as you can see, like I put it to, Range Wonk has won 65 from a slot machine. Now I'm going to show you how to make a coin shop. So to make a coin shop, what you need to do is place down the sign, and on the first line you want to write coin shop inside some brackets. So once you have wrote that on the top line, click done, and your coin shop will be created to the configuration that you have set it. As I have set mine $10 per one coin, that's what it's done. If I scroll up, it goes up, scroll down, go down. I'm now going to show you how to change the configuration for the signs. So you want to go back to the server plugin folder, and you want to go into your language. Right, now you need to find the correct part of this file. You can edit all of these, they're all customizable, but there's not really much need to edit the messages. I just like to edit the signs. Here's the sign message parts in the configuration, quite near to the bottom of the configuration. And as you can see, this is all the sign configuration here, the coin shop sign. So this part here, it shows that it's and A and L. This means it will be bold and in grey, which is the coin shop first line. Second bit is coins, and then the amount, the price, and then the amount. I've already configured mine to how I like it, so that's how it looks on my server, and it will look different on yours if you create one straight off the back. So you might want to go and edit that if you don't like the default colors, but they're quite nice anyway. I just preferred these ones. And then this is the coin shop spacer. That will just show a bunch of lines on the bottom one, like on here, but my lines are different because I've changed that. For you, your price will be on the same line as price, and you'd have lines at the bottom, but because I added the $sign, it made it too big to fit on this line, so push it down. And then this is on the pot on the machine. It will say the price and the amount, money amount, how many items are in there. My one doesn't say that because I don't have any, and this is what I have used to space it out. So if I just get rid of this, this is the default here. If I save that and then do slot reload, that's what yours would look like by default, although because I added another $sign, yours would be up top row with 3 lines. And then once you use that, they would just flash going like that. But that design's not bad, I just preferred the way I did it. So I just have this slot reload and they change. So I kind of like hyphen underscore hyphen underscore. I just think that's quite cool, so that's what I changed it to. And well, and you've got other things that you can change in there, but that's all I changed in mine. Now that I've shown you how to set up your slot machine and how they work, I'm going to go through the commands and the permissions. Okay, so now I'm going to start off with how to make your own custom slot machines and then how to import them into the game. So what you're going to need is a sign, jukebox. We'll get a coin just to test it, and you will need an item frame, and then obviously you'll need some blocks to stand it on. We'll just use this wood here. So you can make your slot machines on whatever size and however big you want, but I'm just going to make a small one just so you can see. You can make it just 2x3 if you want to. You can put your signs in a straight line like this if you want to, and that would be a slot machine right there. And we will design this one just so you can see. So to get your wand, you must type design wand, and as you can see it gives you the bone and it's labeled design wand. Left click to select first position and right click to select second position. So I've placed this other block here just so I can select outside the machine, so I don't have to select the floor, otherwise the floor would go everywhere with me. So I'm going to left click this block and then right click this block here, and now I'm going to type design create and then the name of the machine. So I want to create the machine and call it test, so I'm going to type design create test. And now that saved that design. I can remove this machine now. So if I want to import this into the game now and build it as a machine, all I need to type is slot build test and then either the slot machine name or just leave it blank, which I'm going to leave blank, and it will generate the machine. So as you can see, it's 2 forward and 2 across. But you've got this extra block here because we needed that to create the machine. You don't need that anymore, so you can just delete that. And this machine, you can now configure it in the config files, or just go straight off if it's already the config that you want. And as you can see, if I use my coin on there, the slot machine will work. That's how you create your custom machine. To view the list of the designs, if you type design list, you will see all the designs that you've created. So as you can see, I've got the default design and the test design which I just created. And as you can see, if I use the machine, the order that they stop in is bottom to top, which would be left to right. Whereas if I can invert that to make it go the other way, if I type design invert test, and that worked correctly, as you can see if I just use the machine. There, they stopped from top to bottom, which should have then been right to left. Okay, now what we can do is design reload, which will reload all the designs if there are errors or whatever with them, or if you've changed anything. And you've got design help, which gives you the first page of the help list, or design help 2, and it shows you the second page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this slot machine. You have to type slot destruct and then the name 12, and that will destruct the machine. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to delete that design. So as you can see, if we type design list again, we've got the test one still there, but if we type design remove test and then we type design list, test has disappeared and we can now only create the default designs again. So if we create a machine by typing slot build default, because we're using the default design and we're not going to put a name, actually we'll call this machine test. So the default one generates 3 blocks back from the block that you're standing on, and then 4 more blocks to the right, so 3 by 5. And as you can see, we've missed 2 blocks. So I showed you earlier, but if you type slot move and then test, which is the name 2, it will push it back 2 blocks. It will push it 2 blocks the direction you are facing. So if I wanted it to be right in the corner, I could do this way 4, and it will go across 4 blocks. Although I have showed you how to make the coin shop sign by doing coin shop on the first line, like so, there are also ways that you can grant coins and buy coins while using commands, although the sign does not require any player permissions, but the commands do. So you can do coin purchase, which will give you, oh, you need to type the amount. I was going to say just 1, but coin purchase, so we'll type 1 and it'll take $10, or if you type 5 it'll take $50. Or if you want to give yourself coins without paying, you can type coin grant, player name, and then the amount. So we'll grant myself 2 coins. And as you see, I got given 2 coins and it didn't cost any money. There's also some help pages for the coin. So if you type coin help, you'll see the help page, coin purchase, coin grant, and coin help. You can teleport to your slot machines by typing slot TP and slot name. So if we teleport to slot 9, it'll teleport me over to the other side of the room where slot number 9 is. And then if we want to get back, we can teleport to test. And now I am back over here again. This is quite good to get around quickly to the slot machines without setting all these little homes and warps and stuff. If we type slot list, it will list all the active slots. If they've got X next to them, it means that no one's currently on them. If it's a tick, then people are using them right now. To rebuild the slot machine, this deactivates the machine and rebuilds it. You can type slot rebuild and then the name. I'm not sure what the purpose of deactivating and rebuilding is. I guess it's just to fix any bugs if you break it by mistake. And then to deactivate it completely, you can just type slot deactivate and then the name, like so, slot deactivate test. It says the slot isn't active because no one's playing it right now. So if I play on it and then type the command, it will just stop it. You can modify the amount of money and items that are in the current machine. If you want to change the amount that it gets reset to every time someone's win, you must change it in the configuration, but you can just change it while it's in the current game here. To do that, you can type slot money, and then we're doing slot machine test, and then you can either use deposit, withdraw, or set. So we're going to set the machine to, let's say, 100 coins. So that's been set to 100. If we deposit 100, it adds 100 into it, and if we withdraw 100, it will take 100 more out. Okay, so to deposit and set the items of the machine, what you have to do is type slot item, the slot machine name, and then the item ID. So if we type 1, it would put stone in. So we have to type set or deposit 1. So it's set 1 stone is in the machine. So using the command, all that I found out is you can only put 1 item in at a time. I might be typing it wrong, but that's all I found out. But if you want to put multiple items in, if you have the stack or the amount that you want to put in your inventory, so if we use 64 planks and then type set hand instead of the ID, it will now put 64 planks in. And now if we use set hand here, it will now put 1 of this plank in, but it would remove the planks because we're setting it. So we've got this plank in. If we want to put these planks back in, instead of set and we put deposit, it will now put 2 items in. It now has both kind of planks in there. Now we can deposit some signs. We'll put the item frame and the jukebox. Now we're back to 5 items, but you can put more items in if you wish to. You go put some 10 coins in there as well. Now we can reset the money and the items to what it is in the configuration. All we have to do is type slot reset, the name of the slot machine, money. Now it's gone back to the default money of that configured file. And now if you remove money and type items or item, it will do the same. It's gone back to the default. You can also clear the items and money off the machine. So if I type slot clear test money, it will remove all the money, and if I type slot clear test item, it will remove all of the items. So now if I put a coin in, because it adds 50 each time and it seems to add 2 items, that's what it's added. If we do it again, it's now added another 50. I guess 2 items is the minimum you can have in there if you've got it set in the configuration. Now if you want to reload the plugin, you can type slot reload and it reloads the plugin. Or if you want to reload a particular slot machine, you can type slot reload and then the machine name, which is test, and then it reloads the test machine. Reloading the plugin will reload all the machines. That's if you've got like a big error that you can't fix, or try to do that before restarting. Or if you've just got a problem with one slot machine, just reload the machine after you've fixed it. I thought this next part was really cool. You can see how many times you've won and lost, and how much money you've made of the casino, and you can see how much money the slots have made or lost. So if we type slot statistic show, and now we either type slot or player. So if we look at my stats first, so if we type player and then the player name, which is Range Wonk, it will tell you I've had 404 total spins, I've won 64 and lost 334. So I've lost a lot more than I've won. But Each coin on my server costs $10, so I spent $2,570, whereas I've won $5,925, which still leaves me in profit of $3,355. So even though you lose a lot more than you win, you still make quite a bit of money. So now if we want to look at the statistics of a particular machine, all you've got to do is type statistics show slot and then the name of the slot machine. So if we do test, it will say total spins for 1, 0 and then lost 3. I'm not sure how that works, as it doesn't add up to 4, but okay. Whereas if we do a different machine, let's say number 5, slot 5, total wins 625. People have won 113 times on it and lost 509. And it's good that it keeps track of all the machines and all their total spins and losses and wins and all that good stuff. So I find that quite a handy command, and it's good to look up other platforms. You've also got a command that is statistic reset and then the slot or player. So if we do statistic reset and then we'll do slot and then we'll reset the slot machine test. Now if we look at it, it's now been reset to total spin 0, 1, 0, lost 0. Forget any of these in the future, you've got statistic help. Which shows you the commands. Another cool thing that you can do is, if you forget what name a certain machine is, if you right click on the machine anywhere, it will tell you this machine is called test. I don't think it works. No, it doesn't work if you're holding a coin. You've got to be holding nothing, and it will help tell you what the machine's called. So what I will show you now is I'll show you how to delete the machine. So after you've finished and don't want the machine anymore, just type slot destruct and then the machine name, and you will destruct the machine. So I hope that this tutorial for ItemSlotMachine helped you. If you need any more information about the plugin, then go to the ItemSlotMachine bucket dev page, which you are most likely already on if you're watching this video. If not, then I will leave the page on the screen and also read out the website link for you. It's dev.bucket.org/bucket-plugins/ItemSlotMachine. Here you can read more information and download the plugin, so go there. A big thanks to Darkblade12 for making this plugin, and this is Range Wonk signing out.